This week on The Edge, we're taking it around the world to South Africa.
Okay, I'm gonna be right next to you, talking you through it.
Gerhard Voss from Dagabo Safaris, South Africa, has invited us along on a rhino hunt.
Very slowly, one step at a time. We're gonna move forward and take it. Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. We're going to experience some turbulence.
The Edge is brought to you by Old Smokes Coffee Roastery and Cafe, Browning, G5 Outdoors, Prime Archery, Stealth Cam, Outdoor Edge, High Mountain Seasonings, Hornady, Canac Industrial Services, Portable Winch Co., Vortex, Wolverine Guns and Tackle.
Today on The Edge, I have the exciting, rare opportunity to go on a rhino Vita dart hunt in the South African province of Limpopo. We've been lucky enough to be invited along in this once-in-a-lifetime adventure with the Bisby Fish and Wildlife Conservation Fund. Now, this is their first ever rhino hunt, and they are the founders of the Black and Blue Marlin Fishing Tournament.
He's right here, going underneath. He's making a circle underneath the boat.
Snap that rubber band.
Brian Wally and his friend Luis Zamata bid on the rhino Vita dart hunt, and Brian gets to hunt a white rhino near Polokwane.
So it's all in the name of conservation, and that's what we need to get out there.
And he'll be guided by my good friend Gerhard Voss from Dagabo Safaris, South Africa.
Everybody says white rhino. It's white because of the width of the mouth. Yeah.
Now, after we Vita darted and tranquilized the rhino, assisted by a professional vet, of course, we'll take hair, blood samples for research purposes. But first we have to get to South Africa.
So 26 hours, and we're just doing a final tune on the bow, making sure everything's good. Rifle we sighted in here a week and a bit ago. I guess this is almost like a reintroduction of myself. Back 9 years ago, we started The Edge. It's gone through a few hosts. It's gone through a lot of changes. And I've taken a few years off. I wanted to take some time and hunt with my son, James, and hunt with my wife, Julie, and David, and just spend some time with family before I got back in front of the camera again. So this year was the year that I'd planned on coming back, and now I think, and hopefully, we're gonna come back with a bang. I've never actually hunted outside of Canada. Not only are we climbing Mount Everest, we're actually doing it in flip-flops. I've got no idea, I've never been there. I think that the heat is gonna kick my... When it gets hot here in the summertime, I'm like a St. Bernard. I crawl under a tree and find some shade and pan. Pick up the rings for the wedding. I've been planning and organizing, along with my lovely lady Julie, our wedding on the 25th of May as well. Some cash from the bank, but these are the last few things we need to do. Then I'm done, and we can relax, get everything finished up. Now, Gerhard's been bugging me for years to come and hunt with him, and it's been so long since we've been trying to actually connect to be able to go on this hunt. I think the thing I'm looking forward to the most, besides the rhino Vita dart hunt, is being able to spend some quality time with Gerhard, the Bisbees that are going to be there as well, and being able to hunt in a completely different area. We just got to make sure we have everything in our packs, and then we're out of here. Right. I was really surprised about how easy it was to actually get everything. It only took us an hour and 15 minutes to get through, get our firearms checked, get everything put together. I love adventure. I always have. It's always interested me. The crazier the better in most cases.
We're actually on the plane, if you can believe it.
I like the travel. I mean, we're going to be on a plane for, I think, 24 hours to actually make it to our destination. Took a bus. Our last flight of 398. Gerhard's been in business for quite some time. He's got an amazing reputation. You'll see lots of them on this show. You guys can make your own decision. Made it. We're here.
We finally made it to Polokwane, South Africa in one piece. Gerhard, Wayne Bisby, Luis, Brian, and Brian's wife Tawny were waiting for us at the airport. They're excited about this as we are. I mean, you don't get to hunt white rhino in South Africa every day.
What's that language?
Afrikaans. Oh, that's it. They got like 11 different ones. So I quit asking because every time I think, but it's a different one. They got like 11 official. I don't know how many unofficial. Thank you is very easy. You just say donkey.
Yeah.
Thank you very much is buy a donkey.
Buy a donkey.
Go buy a donkey.
You wouldn't believe how many donkeys I bought.
Buy a donkey is thank you very much.
Trophy Solutions Africa would be the taxidermy place. It smells just like bear baiting in Alberta.
Gerhard's hunting lodge, Boyonete, is 2 hours from Polokwane, so we decided to stay in Polokwane for the night. Now, after we toured the taxidermist, we found a nice hotel, and it was time to see the rhino ranch.
Maybe we can borrow one of those for tomorrow or something. Go take it. Just take it for a rip.
This place is a fortress. Since South Africa imposed a trade barrier on rhino hunting in 2009 to try and curb poaching, ironically, poaching has skyrocketed. South Africa has 90%, or 20,000 of the world's rhinos. The hunting moratorium basically created an out-of-control black market for rhino horn.
I think one of my passions in life is to try and save the rhinos that's left in South Africa. Well, I firmly believe, and if you look at the situation, it's very difficult to protect rhinos in vast areas. I can see that the government is losing the battle against the poachers.
You see he's covered it. Now he's going to put a rope around the wound in the front. And we're going to get a group of people and they will pull it into the truck.
Although they're throwing a lot of resources behind it, the area is like in the Kruger National Park is just too big and they cannot cover every angle. And if the private people don't climb in and start protecting the rhinos that's left, I think in 10 years from now you'll battle to see a live rhino.
Right now, we're tranquilizing a couple of young rhinos, and what we're doing is they're weaning them from their moms. So we have to tranquilize them and then get them in the truck to move them to a secure area so they get off and away from their moms, so the moms will go into heat so they can breed again. So that's one of two. And the second one, I think the chopper's going to go up here right away and go tranquilize number 2.
Yeah, no kidding. No, that was uncool. He's just looking at me like, shut up, don't be a pussy.
Seemed like the only role I had was to pull a rhino into a box that I couldn't get out of if something went wrong.
This was not in the brochure.
So that wasn't part of the plan for the day by any means. The brochure didn't have that. My job was literally to make sure these guys have a great time and that we can successfully get them on like an actual hunt where they would stalk a rhino and successfully get something into it. And in this particular case, being a green hunt, it's a dart.
46% of South African rhinos are privately owned, and it costs a tremendous amount of money to raise and protect them from poachers.
Like, how many years ago did you say, we're going to do this? We're going to build Fort Knox for the rhino?
We farming with rhinos about 8 years.
Many private rhino owners are being forced to get rid of their herds because they can't afford to protect them. We're protecting the name and location of the conservatory we're at today because it would come under attack from poachers. Right now, we're unloading these rhinos from another owner to be introduced to the existing herd here. Talking to the people on the ground, it seems that there's an easy solution. Open the market. It raises funds for conservation, and it would help ease pressure from the black market. In the 1960s, Ian Player began a rhino conservation program where there were less than 100 rhino left in South Africa. It included private ranches raising them. It worked great, but now these private owners are basically being penalized for owning rhinos. Obviously, the moratorium is not working.
Even if you hunt it in the Kruger National Park or someplace, you'll have the same experience. Because it's not in a cage. I mean, you've got vast area to run.
Hold on. Just like that, there's your safety. If you want to put a dart in, just there's a little button on that side.
Okay.
Perfect.
You gonna need shooting sticks or not?
No.
I'm just asking.
No, we're good.
Okay.
Take a last one?
Sure. Louise, you want to try last
40
one?
yards. 40 yards.
No.
Take it.
No, go ahead, Louise.
I think it's ver genoeg.
40 yards is at
40
least
is shot,
maximum
eh?
40 yard shot.
When we got here, Gerhard basically said, Brian, do what I tell you to do. Don't be nervous, and it'll be awesome.
Okay. Should eat it right now, I think.
Okay.
Feeling confident?
Hey?
You're a proper hunter if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Next thing.
Just remember, I'll be behind you.
Is it good? Okay. Remember, very important, don't push down. Use it as a rest, okay? Use it as a rest. Okay, I'm gonna be right next to you, talking you through it, okay?
Thank you again, Dinas. Our project here in South Africa for the Bisby Fish and Wildlife Conservation Fund it's the Nikwe Tactical Training Academy. We actually built a tactical training academy to train field rangers and certify field rangers for employment out in either private areas or the public areas like Kruger National Park to go out on patrols and protect the rhinos.
Rhino poaching is a huge problem in South Africa. The horn is worth more than its weight in gold.
So how many different species do you have on the ranch here? Basically, rhinos, buffalo, and others.
Asian countries have some obscene theories about the benefits of the horn.
How many acres are here? We've got 6,000 hectares here.
But it's all been debunked. Rhino horn is made of keratin, which is the same protein as found in hair and fingernails.
How many years have you had the property here? Yeah, well, I'm 63 today, so it belonged to my grandfather, then my dad bought it from him, and we took it over from my dad. Recently got into the rhino. How many years have you been doing that? Oh, we've been into the rhino for about 10 years now. You want to have a quick look at the buffalo?
So Wayne Bisby and the Bisby Fish and Wildlife Conservation Fund have found a way to work within the moratorium. Hunting rhino for rhino conservation.
Like I'm a freaking sniper. I guess I am. Rhino sniper.
Well, last year was the Bisbee's Black and Blue charity auction. We bid on a rhino, ecological rhino hunt. My buddy won it. I went halvers on it, and here we are in South Africa.
Brian Wally is out with his guide Gerhard Voss hunting a white
So
rhino.
today we're in Polokwane, close to Polokwane, on a private farm, and we are going to dart some rhino, a rhino cow. The owner has had some problems with, she hasn't given a calf in about 4 years.
Now, Gerhard has to find a specific female rhino, and Brian and Gerhard have to get within 40 yards to shoot it with a Vita dart. Now, this is Brian's first hunt. He's a master marlin fisherman, or so he says, but he's never hunted in his life. Brian and Luis won the hunt at an auction put on by the Bisby Fish and Wildlife Fund. And Wayne Bisby and Dagabo Safaris South Africa, Gerhard Voss, of course, organized this hunt, and now Brian is out on the African savanna on his hands and knees sniping a white rhino. Brian gets one shot at this, and probably hoping the rhino runs away from him rather than at him. This rhino's cruising speed is 50 kilometers an hour and weighs over a ton. If she decides to charge, this hunt will be over really quick.
There can be no grass. It has to be absolutely clear.
Meanwhile, Thinis, our veterinarian, and the rest of us are at a staging area, patiently waiting for Gerhard and Brian to get it right.
So the biggest issue is we have to take blood for pregnancy testing, see if there's anything wrong with her. Then we're also going to make sure she's got a microchip in both of her horns and in her shoulder. So we're going to scan that, look for chips. If she doesn't have any chips, we're going to implant chips into the horn and into the shoulder. Then we're also going to take DNA samples, hair samples, horn samples, and also blood for DNA.
Remember what I told you, forget about the gun,
Pick a
forget about
spot.
everything. Pick a spot on the rhino, go for that spot.
Yeah.
Try to forget it,
Yeah.
concentrate on the spot, and you're fine. Perfect.
No, they are.
Not the
No, we're on the broadside shot, we'll go for the shoulder, and if it's turned a little bit quartering way, we'll go
Put
for
them in
the rear end back.
Yeah.
That's it. We're going to move forward. Are you ready?
Brian is at the most dangerous part of this hunt. He's not going to get a second shot. There's no backup weapon in case the rhino charges. Both Gerhard and Brian are big guys, so it's anyone's guess how quickly the rhino could make a mess of them. Rich, our cameraman on the ground, can use his camera as protection, but my guess is he'd probably run the fastest.
Well, we were literally at some points during the hunt, because it was almost 2 hours, 1 inch, 1 step. Don't move. Hold that. 1 more inch, 1 step. So the rhino has extremely intense smell and hearing, but their vision isn't that great. So you use the foliage to stay hidden and stay downwind so they don't smell you, and move very slowly, quietly, tense, full on command.
Ooh! Well done! Yeah! Woo! Okay, let's just stop. Okay, jij kan komen. Hij lang worden, hij recht door hem zetten op is.
Shot in and we'll give him a dart, tranquilize him. And we've got our 4-5 minutes to wait. See where he goes down.
Okay, jij kan komen. Hij lang worden, hij recht door hem zetten op is. Linkerschool. Zij samen moet aan het You did it, buddy. I was a stop.
Shot too, isn't it? Perfect shot, right?
Save eyes, huh?
Yeah, I guess very fine.
You can see she's starting to show a little bit. She's slowing down. Her tail is up in the air as well. That's it.
Yeah.
It looks like she's looking for a place to hide.
I mean, we have a dart gun, you know, so we are limited to, you can't shoot even the smallest little grass will set off the
charge?
Yeah, charge, yeah. So, and we have to be in that 40-yard range.
Right.
And we were right at 39. The legal way to do it is the client obviously eats the Vita dart, the vitamin that goes into it, and it injects it with vitamins, which is good for the rhinos. And then the vet in the helicopter will go up, put the tranquilizer in it, and then they just follow. Okay, listen guys, Tina's going to run us through the whole process, what he's doing, why he's doing, and everything. So let's give him time.
First of all, just taking some blood here, a blood sample. Just for DNA and for pregnancy.
Put it down, they'll have a whole team coming in, expert guys, make sure the rhino is in good condition, it lays in the correct way because they can't lay on the sides.
Then let the vehicle just scan the horn for us with a microchip and just make sure if there's chips in the horn.
And go away, so. That's the unique ID code and chip number to every rhino.
Just in the front of it. And then his cover, just in the shoulder as well. He's going to take some hair sample as well for DNA.
I see. Okay. Yeah. So it's a second chip. One goes into the body and one in the horn. And for reason, if they poach them, they take the horns, that you still have the ID on its body because they're not using the meat.
So, net voor. Net voor. So we're going to put a chip in the back.
Okay.
The back horn.
Cool.
Die seker right nie agter nie. So I'm inserting a chip there.
So the boys went out, Gerhard, Rich, and Brian, stalked this rhino for over an hour and a half.
How long is it going to take for it to wake up?
It's quick. It's in the vein. It's going to take a few seconds. You're going to see.
They crawled on their stomachs for 1.5 miles in order to dart this rhino. But at the end, Brian was successful. His shot was perfect. It went off famously. And it was up and running away in 20 minutes. So an amazing thing to be a part of. Let's go find out what we're going to do next.
Coming up on The Edge, we visit the Mkwe Rhino Ranger training area as we continue our hunting adventure with Dagabo Safaris, South Africa.
You see him? On the shoulder. Take it.
That's number 4. Let's go! I think we got ourselves a tank.
The Edge is brought to you by Old Smokes Coffee Roastery and Cafe, Browning, G5 Outdoors, Prime Archery, Stealth Cam, Outdoor Edge, High Mountain Seasonings, Hornady, Canac Industrial Services, Portable Winch Co., Vortex, Wolverine Guns and Tackle.